All right, you guys, I am back in a different style video today. I'm doing like a more blogger style thing. Vlogger, that's still a thing. But today, the reason I'm doing this is because I'm here to talk about my Apple Fitness Plus treadmill setup. So without further ado, let's go ahead together as a people and check it out. Welcome to the Mike Techs It Out official treadmill setup. So originally, I used to have my treadmill over here and it was right up against this wall where the kennels are, and there's obviously still some dirt on the wall and plus some other stuff that needs to be cleaned over there. But it was right there and it was actually terrible. I used to have trouble overheating because all the heat was just coming off the wall. But yeah, it used to be terrible. Even though I had this fan blowing on me the whole time, it used to be clipped to the side of the treadmill. There used to be like a little space where I was able to just get a clip in here, like right around this area. But it was still an awful experience. So, you know, after Christmas, when we had to take all the decorations down, I thought it was a good time to just go ahead and deal with this treadmill situation. And also, I just wanted like a mini workout area. So as you can see, this is kind of the living room, and then this is the living area over here. So with this, obviously this couch and everything, coffee table and Christmas decorations that are still here, takes up most of the space. And then of course there's a washer and dryer. So we weren't really using this area. The Blu-rays actually used to be over there, like all the way at the end of the wall where the treadmill is now, and then the treadmill was in there. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we make a little workout space over here, since this was a mainly unused area? And the reason I'm doing this video is so that way people can get ideas and inspirations if they want to just, you know, do Apple Fitness Plus, or maybe they just want to have like a TV treadmill setup. So this is a treadmill that my friend actually gave me, which I'm extremely grateful for because it's been life-saving with everything going on with COVID. So I've had this for like a year and a half, and I typically run 5 days a week. So this is kind of like your basic, you know, digital display treadmill. It's not one of the fancy ones where you can get video and stuff. But when I started doing Apple Fitness Plus, I would just put my phone up here on the little ledge, and I would just be watching the videos while I was running. So I was like, it'd be nice to have a monitor to watch the videos on, or a TV above the treadmill. But also, since this is the workout space, I wanted to be able to see the TV above the treadmill when it's folded up, so that way I can fold up the treadmill and still be able to see the TV. And if there was any issues with the angle, I also got a swivel mount. So you can see behind here, this mount actually swivels out, so I can pull the monitor further out if I need to, which is the reason that I personally chose this mount. If you choose to do this, you can use whatever mount you want to. I personally like this one just because of the swivel. So if you want to use the area for like other workout activities, it'll be easier because you can angle the monitor in a lot of different ways and you can bring it further out if you need to. So that's why I chose this style mount. But this one was $30 at Target. They actually have similar models that are cheaper on Amazon. So you don't have to get this one. I am putting the links in the description to all the stuff that I've used. So while we're back here, I want to actually talk about the whole setup. Because as you can see, oops, I'm pulling the fan off the wall. That's not good. So as you can see, I'm just going to unplug it for right now. So as you can see, it doesn't look great from the back, but from the front, it looks spectacular. No one make any jokes. Shut up. I actually have the Apple TV HD. So this is the 4th generation Apple TV. The current one, the 5th generation, is the 4K model. They're pretty much exactly the same. The 4K one's a little bit faster. We actually have that upstairs. And this one was not being used, so that was the first part of my idea. This monitor that I'm using is actually an Acer monitor that I did some very popular videos on, at least popular for my channel. And it's actually a gaming monitor. I just stopped using it because I upgraded recently and I had it in the closet, so that was kind of part of this idea. So these two things I already had, but if you do want to do a setup based on Apple Fitness Plus, you do need an Apple TV if you want it to be like on a TV or a monitor. Otherwise, you have to use an iPad or an iPhone because those are the only devices that are supported right now. So I have this mounted here. This is actually just held in place with some zip ties. It does have screw holes. This is a 3D printed mount. I'll include a link in the description to the file that I used to print it, and also like a cheap $6 one that they just sell on Amazon that you can buy. Yeah, so it does have screw holes. You need flat screws to actually properly utilize this, and I didn't feel like going out and buying flat screws, and I tried to put like a round screw in there and I ended up scratching the Apple TV. It was pretty bad. So that's how that's mounted back there. I just stuck it on the actual mount with some zip ties, and then the cables that are coming off it, like the HDMI cable, I just kind of bundled it up with some Velcro ties. The back of it's kind of fugly, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it's kind of fugly back there. And then as far as this little fan over here, because I did have that connected to the monitor. So this is technically a baby fan that I got on Amazon. Well, it's advertised as like a crib fan. So it has a little clip, so you can clip it to the treadmill if you want to. I personally like having a fan. My treadmill doesn't have one built in. So this was, I think, around $18. And it's battery powered, so I just have it in so that way it stays charged while the monitor is on, so I don't have to worry about charging it. But yeah, the battery that comes in is actually pretty good. I didn't really have to charge it that much, maybe like once a week. I think it lasts like 3 hours. It depends on the speed that you have. It has 4 speeds, so I can just pop this on really quick. So by default, this is like the third setting that it defaults to, and it's got like one above it. This, like when I'm doing a long run, this is the one that I usually pick. But it actually puts out a fair bit of air if you're interested in the fan. Like I said, that's kind of an optional thing. So that just plugs into one of the USB ports for power on the monitor on the other side. Then I just have the power cord from both the Apple TV and the monitor running down this wire hider over to a power strip, which we just mounted in the corner with some double-sided tape, and it actually plugs in over on the other side of the wall, because that's where the closest outlet was, aside from this one technically. But I have so much stuff over here, including the HomePod, which I'll get into later. I didn't have room to plug in everything over here. So that's just my setup as far as the wiring portion. And like I said, you could probably get away with using a shorter HDMI cable as well. There'd be less of a mess than there is right now with my setup. But that's pretty much the setup. So power, HDMI, a mount for the Apple TV, and whatever TV or monitor that you choose to use. I do like having a monitor just because it's a lot easier, because it automatically just goes into sleep mode when the Apple TV's off. So that does make it easier to just kind of pick up and go. This is actually a 27-inch monitor, so if you're looking at getting a TV, the closest match would probably be a 32-inch. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this fan back in, because if not, I might die the next time I run. So that's pretty much the setup behind the monitor. There is one other cable that's plugged in that I didn't really mention. So since this is a monitor, it does have audio out. It has built-in speakers, but they're complete garbage. But I actually ran the audio out to the treadmill's audio because it has built-in speakers. Unfortunately, the built-in speakers are also garbage. So that's another issue that I've had to deal with. So I do recommend probably just getting a cheap TV, because it's probably gonna be loud enough where you won't have to worry about bad audio. So that's pretty much everything I have connected. I also like having it mounted up here, because it's pretty much the same height as my head, so it's easy to just look straight ahead when I'm running and I'm doing the Apple Fitness Plus workouts. So all I have to do now is just hit the button. It is gonna take a few seconds because the Apple TV has to send the signal to the monitor that it's on, and then the monitor will kick on. So, all right, so since the last thing I used was the Apple Fitness Plus, it automatically took me back to the app. But on the Apple TV, as long as you have the current update, you'll have like a fitness thing. It looks like the rings on the Apple Watch, and you just go there, and then it tells you to select which Apple Watch you want to connect to, because technically both Jeff and I have accounts on this Apple TV. So it just says confirm on your Apple Watch, and you will get the little pop-up on your watch. And I will wait for this to focus in, and it's not gonna focus in because it's being difficult. But basically, yeah, you just hit connect on the watch. Then that brings you here to the main screen. So I really have been enjoying the treadmill workouts, because one of the things that I'm not good at is, for one, going down the speed and going back up the speed, and two, like doing hills. I usually just run like straight up. I was just doing like a 5K every day on the treadmill, and that was pretty much it, with no incline. So this has actually pushed me. The one thing I don't like about Apple Fitness Plus so far is that like it just tells you like off the bat, instead of giving you what the workout is, it just says how long it is and what the playlist is, because it's very focused on music. So Pure Dance, and then you go to it, and then I'll tell you more about the workout after you go to it. But this workout features a mix of rolling hills and progressive speeds, blah, 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 blah. And then this has the playlist. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of show you how it works for those of you who are not familiar with it, even though it's gonna mess up my workout stats for the day, but it's fine. I'm doing this for y'all, so it's fine. And so this pops up, and so all you gotta do is either hit play, like select play on the Apple TV, or you can also hit play on the Apple Watch, and it works either way. So I'm just gonna hit it on the watch really quick, and then I'll go ahead and register. And then that way you can hear how bad these speakers sound on this treadmill. And then of course, the one thing that's cool about it is it puts your rings on the screen the whole time, which I really like. Now, I'm gonna turn the volume down really quick because it sounds like garbage anyway. The thing that I don't like is, which the Apple Watch has never been good at, is like detecting when I'm on an incline for some reason, even though the workout is telling you to do an incline, so you would think that it'd be more aware that you might be on an incline at the time. And so right now I'm just at like a 2 mile per hour walk. But as you can hear, the treadmill itself is pretty loud. So what I've done in this situation, since we already had the regular HomePod in the living room anyway, if you hold the home button on the remote, this button, it brings up a little side menu, and then you can just go and cast the audio to another AirPlay device. So what I usually do is I'll just go in and select our HomePod for the audio source. It does take a few seconds to connect, but I usually do this before I start the workout, honestly. So this is the audio from the HomePod, which sounds a lot better in my opinion than my monitor or this treadmill. Of course my gimbal died while I was recording this video, but you can tell that there's a slight latency. So this is the audio coming from the treadmill, which is obviously coming over a wire, and that's HomePod, but I usually just turn off the audio built in. And the latency is good enough where it doesn't really matter. If you do have a HomePod or a HomePod Mini, you can use that for audio. If you decide to get a cheap TV that doesn't have good speakers, of course this is like an over-engineered solution. So if you just want something cheaper, you could always just buy like a sound bar and connect it up to the TV or something like that. This is just my over-engineered solution to the problem. I could also just take like an audio cable and do wired earphones if I wanted to. That's my dead gimbal, which let me down. I mean, granted, I haven't charged it in like 6 months, but vlogging. So that's my current setup for Apple Fitness Plus. I just happen to have this stuff laying around. Like I got a new monitor. I already had the Apple TV that I wasn't using. It was literally unhooked in our bedroom for months, just sitting there. So I just kind of decided to throw this stuff together to do like a little treadmill workout area. I even already had the HomePod. I did a whole review on it back in 2019. So this is all stuff that I already had, including the treadmill. But the reason I threw this video together is if you want to do like your own little Apple Fitness Plus, or even like just a treadmill workout type situation where you can just watch videos while you work out. Like YouTube has a bunch of like free running videos. I've watched a couple of them when I don't feel like doing like a specific workout. I just want to run. So I'll put on like one of those running videos where people are like running through the mountains and stuff like that, or, you know, and famous landmarks. So I just did this video kind of like, you know, maybe if you have like a, you know, dumb treadmill like I have, which is not dumb, it's just, you know, a basic treadmill with a digital screen. It doesn't have any of the fancy like built-in workout apps, and you kind of want to get more out of it. It's just an idea for the setup. All the stuff is linked in the description. They're not affiliate links. I don't get paid for this channel. I'm just putting it in there. You don't even have to get the exact stuff. It's just the stuff that I use. So yeah, I'm not putting the monitor in the description because it's not the best option for this setup. Honestly, the colors are pretty bad. And then it's also a high refresh rate, which is like wasted on an Apple TV, especially like the 1080p one. So yeah, I don't recommend this monitor, but either a cheap monitor or a cheap TV would be fine. Everything else is going to be in the description, including the Apple TV, like if you want to get the HD one, or even if you want to wait, because if they come out the new one this year, they'll probably go down in price quite a bit. Or if you just want to do the running videos on YouTube, like I said earlier, you could always get something cheaper, like a Fire Stick or, you know, a Chromecast, and just do it that way and just cast stuff to it, or just watch your videos on YouTube or watch your own workouts. So this is just kind of like a kind of cheap way to do like a treadmill upgrade, y'all. Just hopefully you know how to mount stuff, because I struggle a little bit. Had to go buy a new step finder and everything. But all right, it's time for me to get going on this treadmill. So I'll see y'all later. If you enjoyed this video, come save me from this workout, please. And also, make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe. And always do at least 2 things at the same time. Peace. From Mike. I'm literally dying here. Someone needs to save me from this workout. Why y'all just sitting around?